Hey everybody, this is Dave with my finished, well, almost finished Panzer IV-H. This is an Italeri model, and I put up another video with the kit review and the build view. It didn't include the camouflage and the weathering. That's for the finished product. Um, this tank is part of a 4-tank platoon that I'm building for somebody. They're getting the absolute steal price of $35 per tank for the build. I would like to charge more, but the Chinese MFs undercut anything I could actually try to charge based on wage. But it's a work of pride, and I really like the guys, so I'm giving them a deal. There's going to be 13 tanks total, but first platoon is 4 German Panzer IV, two H's and 2 G's. It'll all be done with the same kit. This was done in Vallejo flat brown, Vallejo Luftwaffe green, and Vallejo dark tan. The weathering is for the wheels and the lower edges of the skirts there, and the front and the rear and sides of the hull is umber, UMBER, umber wash. The tank is done in an overall diluted black wash, and then spot washed with an undiluted black wash along the lines and details, machine gun housing, seams, and stuff like that. There was an error made with this tank in that I I used water in which I just cleaned the white gray brush that I used to paint the inside of the hatch and commander's cupola, and that was a mistake. And you'll see some areas on this tank where there's light stuff showing through, but I rewashed it, made it a little bit darker than I wanted it to be. And oh, by the way, here's some bits that I painted: sandbags, sleeping bags, and other accessories. Sorry for the interruption. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, that light wash. Now here's after I repaired the light wash, and this is the model. I'm building it with removable skirts, although you have to take all the struts come with the skirt, because the skirt and the rack are one piece, and then the struts just fit onto the armored skirt. So I just don't glue all that onto the hull so that you can take it off and put it back on. On a Panzer IV-H, the armored apron around the turret was permanent. You couldn't remove that. And here you see why it's not finished. I have a broken strut on the turret. You probably may have noticed it already. It's on the left forward. I'll be able to easily replace that because I rated kit number 4 as a parts kit now, so I'll have to replace that. But this is what it looks like without the tracks. And if you see light spots shining through, they kind of look like paint chips. That's what's left over after repairing the wash I did with water, diluted water that had just been used to clean a white gray brush. So I ended up with a white gray film, and it was really hard to get rid of. But this is the final result. And besides repairing a couple of struts and maybe just a little bit of touch-up work here and there, I see there's a bright spot on the tread. I want to get rid of that. But this is basically done. And this is number 232. Number 231 was finished, but it's got some issues since while I was building this, I was forced to open the parts kit. Now I've got parts to repair number 231 where I had some problems. I didn't cover it on the build video. The very tip of the gun, the muzzle brake, is 2 parts. And I mangled the part getting it off the tree. You got to be really careful getting the muzzle brake off. Just warn you right now, don't cut it short. I cut too much of it off. See, so now that I've got the extra parts kit open, I'm going to remove that part and replace it with a more carefully cut out part, and it'll look a lot better. So this is number 232. The figure is actually the one from 231. I'm still figuring out how I'm going to do all the figures to make them look different from each other. I have a model here that has a couple of figures in it, but I can't find it. Just a model laying around that I'm probably never going to build, so I'll just take the figures out of it. And if I ever do build it, I'll build it hatch closed. I also need to wash the commander's hatch there. That hasn't been washed. Maybe do a little more painting. I put that on last, by the way. That's the last part I put on was the hatch, because it sticks up and it's so easy to break off. So it hasn't been washed yet, so it needs to be washed. As you noticed, its color wasn't quite as cool looking as the rest of the tank. That's why. And I also need to get a little more paint in there and soften some edges. So anyway, this is the Panzer IV-H and my little discussion about how I did it. And anyway, I hope you liked it. This is Dave checking out.